I always loved comedy, even when I was a kid. You know, we used to watch SNL when I was in, I think, 7th grade, back in the early days when it, first came on back in the 70s, and just loved that. We used to do the routines and bits, and Steve Martin. I used to watch Steve Martin and listen to Bill Cosby albums and George Carlin albums and Cheech and Chong, and we used to just like do the bits in my friend's basement, and I just always loved doing it. And wanted to actually do it myself. I did it about a year ago, and came back and did it again. So. It was nerve-wracking, but I think I practiced, and it was a little bit different. My daughter was here this time, right? So that was a little different, and so but it was fun. And after it was done, I had a huge wave of relief, and I was so glad I did it. So I like getting out of my comfort zone for different things. So that was fun to do that. Louis C.K.'s most recent special, that was awesome, and Dave Chappelle has now come back with 2 specials on Netflix. He's genius, I think, really. But Cheech and Chong, they used to have these skits they did too, right? So that was a lot of fun, and we used to do Bill Cosby skits, and I mean, it just runs the gamut. But it's been interesting to see over the years all these different comics, like Don Rickles, saw the thing where he recently passed away, and then showing these old roasts and stuff. I mean, I love it all. It's just really fun. I love Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. That's really one of my favorite movies. It's Pee Wee's Big Adventure. There was a movie that Michael Keaton was in years ago that, what was that called? He basically played like a gangster. Johnny Dangerously. If you ever find that, look that up on Netflix. I don't even know if it's on Netflix or not, but it's a great film. Michael Keaton's early days. I grew up in Pittsburgh. Michael Keaton's from Pittsburgh, as is Dennis Miller, and I remember seeing these guys in little stand-up clubs back, in the 70s and early 80s. So, Big Bang. I think at first I saw that show. I didn't like it. My son used to watch it. I didn't like it, and I started watching it. I thought it was genius the way it was written. I like that show. I just recently saw a series about stand-up on HBO called Crashing, which is really, really good. Pete, somebody, I forget his last name, but he was basically came up with the idea, wrote it, pitched it. It's about basically his life starting off in stand-up in New York City. It's genius. Sometimes hard to watch, but it's really good. And they have all these comedians who play themselves on the show, so that's good. And as far as sketch stuff, I used to love Kids in the Hall, which is an old show back in the 70s and the 80s. It came out of Canada. So many great comics that come out of Canada and the Canadian broadcasting system. And SNL, they've had their ups and down years, but I've always stuck to it. Even the bad years, I had to watch it, So I would say those are my favorite sketch shows. Dave Chappelle. He's just so damn funny to me, and he seems like a really good guy and with good perspective on life. So I think that'd be him. Don Rickles would be one. Chappelle would be good. Sarah Silverman, I like her. She'd be funny. Boy, who else? What's his name? Brian Regan. I've seen him. He was hilarious. Works completely clean, but I mean, one of the funniest guys I've ever seen live. And I would say, who would be the other one? George Carlin. I just like to do this on a part-time basis, and I think it's fun. And like I said, it's always good for people to get out of the comfort zone. So for me, this is one of those things that it keeps you sharp and helps me reflect back on my life too, because you come up with stories from your life and when you're a kid and you're growing up and things like that. So I've actually got quite a lot of material in my head. I just have to get it down on paper and then get it up on stage. I don't know. My daughter, one of my daughters does improv actually up in New York, and so I've never actually seen her do it, believe it or not. But I think I'd like to try that. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm on Instagram, I Bob Cooper. My name, Bob Cooper, the letter I in front of it. And on Twitter, I'm same thing, I Bob Cooper. I don't do much on there, but Instagram I think is the thing I like most. I just like to have fun, you know, reflect, and I think we're all very blessed, you know, and you know, comedy is kind of a time where people put themselves out there, you know, and just don't take yourself so seriously. I think that's the whole idea, and just, you know, and take time to go out and enjoy some comedy, and then be able to laugh at other people, and also laugh at yourself too, because we're all sort of living these common threads. Hey, it's Bob Cooper, so check out my interview on cutiepie.com.